Hello folks, I am Parikshit, your favorite educator on Unacademy for LRDI and Quants. And in today's session, it's gonna be a fest about the CET, Maharashtra CET, all that you need to know. We are gonna talk about the top colleges, the cutoffs, the placements, specializations, and a lot of must-know features and why MAH CET is definitely one most important exam and probably one of the last chances to get admission into a B school this particular year. So let's get started. Okay, this is about me, your educator. And yes, happenings on Unacademy. New batches are starting on Unacademy. So the 10th of March, a score booster batch starts on Unacademy where I will be taking LRDI. 13th of March, a extreme batch by IIM alumni. And then on the 15th of March, a absolute weekday morning batch. Also, happy to announce that in Unacademy, we had 100 percentiler in LRDI in CAT 2020. And overall highest percentile was 99.98. And a lot of them scored 99 plus percentilers. You definitely can be one amongst them. And in case you are looking for complete guidance from Unacademy, you might wish to enroll for iconic CAT 2021 subscription wherein you get personal mentorship and every benefit of plus. Remember, use the code PARIKSHITLIFE to get a 10% discount on any of these courses. Yes, a price hike. A price hike is happening soon. So it is essential that you lock in the current price with a 10% discount coupon, Parikshit Life. And the weekly scholarship test, that is absolutely free. In case you wish to register for the test, do please register for the same because it helps you to gauge where you stand in the competition today. Also, it gives you a chance to win a lot of scholarships. And yes, last but not the least, a super awesome feature launched on Unacademy, Ask a Doubt. Anytime when you are practicing, revising at home, don't worry about an educator. You have a doubt, just take a picture of the doubt along with the options. Send across using your Unacademy app and an expert from Unacademy is going to answer your query within a few minutes. Let's get started with today's session. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the CET, right? The first thing often students ask me, I've been teaching for the CET for many years now, and the first thing that you would have a doubt is the eligibility criteria. The eligibility criteria. Is CET only for students belonging to Maharashtra? The answer is absolutely no. It is open to all, open to any aspiring B school graduate, right? Open to all. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you belong to Maharashtra or any other college. So I would say Maharashtra plus other states. Open to everyone. Open to everyone. Then why do students from Maharashtra generally write the CET? Would be your next question. The answer is very simple. The answer lies in the fact that there is a lot of reservation for Maharashtrian students. So around 80 to 85% seats are reserved in a lot of colleges, at least in the top colleges. Whereas for other states, it's an open category wherein they will admit students from the 15% All India quota. 15% All India quota. Part 1. Part 2. Is it very tough? Is it as tough as the CAT? If I did not crack the CAT, will I be able to crack the CET given that there is only 15% seats available? Answer is definitely yes, it is very much possible. Why do I say so? There are two reasons. First reason, remember the CET is easy. It is much easy compared to the CAT. It is relatively easier compared to the CAT. Difficulty level, it would be like the SNAP, the Nursing Munji, or for that matter, lower than IIFT, right? So the CET is easy. Part 2 is a lot of students at this point of time, students who aspire to join the 2021 batch have already taken admission. A lot of them have gone into Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and a lot of other colleges, right? So the competition is less. Competition is less when you look at the quality of students. Don't look at the size. Probably still 1 lakh students appear for the Maharashtra CET, but still the competition is less because the best in the crowd has already moved out, moved out to probably the IIMs and other good B schools. So this is your last chance to write the CET. Now, having talked about the CET, that you are eligible to write the CET, let's talk about the top colleges which accept students via the CET, right? Let's talk about the top colleges. Okay. Now, there are a total of around 150 to 200 colleges, around 100 colleges, right? 100, 150 plus colleges who will accept students via the CET. But does it mean that I can take admission in any of these colleges? Definitely not. You definitely got to look for the top colleges. Which are the top colleges? In order. The first and undoubtedly the best college under CET is Jbims. This is Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies. Next college is SIMSREE, Sydenham Institute of Management Studies, Research and Entrepreneurship Education. And then the third one is, previously it used to be J Somaiya, but now J Somaiya is no longer accepting students via the CET. So the best college, third best, would be Welingkar. Now, what would be the source of my rankings? The source is very simple. I do not go with any site, and I would suggest that even you do not follow any site. The cutoffs. The CET cutoffs are highest for Jbims, second highest for SIMSREE, and third highest for Welingkar. Always, if you have to judge the quality of a college, look at the cutoffs. Highest cutoff would obviously be the best college, second highest, second best, and so on, right? Okay. Now, which is Jbims? Let's talk about each of these colleges in some details. Now, Jbims, the cutoffs for Jbims, especially if you are an All India category student, All India category, could be as high as 99.9 percentile. 99.9 percentile. Again, remember, do not think it is not doable. This is very much doable because, as I said, the competition is easy. The competition is easy, right? Because the best in the lot has already moved out. So is it possible to get a 99.9 percentile? Definitely yes. If you belong to an all India category, you definitely need around this much percentile. How many seats are there in Jbims? How many seats are there in Jbims? Let's talk more about Jbims. There are approximately 140 seats. So I would say, to be exact, 138 seats in Jbims. 138 seats in Jbims, out of which 85% are reserved for Maharashtrians. When I say Maharashtrian, Maharashtra domicile. So domicile is a person who was either born in Maharashtra or has done in 10 or 12 from Maharashtra and so on. So there are certain list of conditions. You need to satisfy one of them, at least one of them. Okay, 138 seats. What is the fees of Jbims? The fees it's relatively cheap compared to the IIMs, right? The fees is only 3 lakhs per annum. 3 lakhs per annum. Now remember, if you want to get into an IIM Ahmedabad or an IIM Bangalore, you probably end up spending around 21 to 22 lakhs minimum for the 2 years. For Jbims, you would get the same quality of teaching in 6 lakhs. 3 lakhs per annum, 2 years, 6 lakhs. 2 years, 6 lakhs. What's the hostel fee? Hostel fee is around 7,000. Just 7,000. You heard it correct. 7,000 per year. 7,000 per year. Now you might be thinking that how do I know so much? I am an alumnus of SIMSREE. My Maharashtra CET score was 99.88. Okay, 99.88, and an all India rank of 30. So Jbims and SIMSREE, more or less, everything is same. Everything is same when it comes to the hostels, when it comes to the teachers, and they are located in fact in adjacent roads. Correct? So this is about Jbims. I'm going to talk more about the specialization in the next few minutes. Just hold on for the moment. Okay. Now next comes SIMSREE. Now SIMSREE, you might not have ever heard the name SIMSREE. Now the reason is very simple. This SIMSREE is a government of Maharashtra college. Okay. SIMSREE, again I will repeat, is a government of Maharashtra college. When I say government of Maharashtra, the good part is the fees are gonna be very less. if you belong to a general category student, in SIMSREE, the fees is only 67,000 per annum. So in 2 years, into 2, and I think you can complete your studies with your pocket money. What about the hostel fees? Around 7,000. In fact, it is less than 7,000 per annum. This is for general category. If you belong to a reserve category, the fees is only 2,000 per annum. 2,000 per annum. Okay, again, I have not made any mistake in the number of zeros. It's actually 2,000 per annum. Why? Because the government of Maharashtra subsidizes. It pays for your college fee, right? That is why the fees are so less. Now, in each of these colleges, and similarly Welingkar, and then you have Welingkar. Welingkar is a bit expensive, but still comes on the top 3. Now, the next part that you got to consider is what are the courses and specializations offered. Placements, I'll keep it separate. I'm going to talk it in a separate slide. What about the specializations that are offered in these colleges? Right? That's the next important point that you got to know. Now, before I get into the specializations, you got to understand that these colleges offer 2 types of courses. As an example, let's take the example of SIMSREE. What are the courses it offers? It offers MMS and PGDM versus PGDM. Now, you got to understand the difference between these 2 courses. Both are MBA. Obviously, both are MBA courses, right? What is MMS? MMS is Master of Management Studies. It is equivalent to an MBA degree. Why do I call it a degree? Because it is conferred by the Mumbai University. University of Mumbai. PGDM again is a MBA, okay? But here it is a diploma. And as you might well understand, a diploma is conferred by the institute and not by the university. Conferred. So SIMSREE, the college will offer a diploma, right? So do companies distinguish when it comes to placement whether they should pick up MMS students or PGDM? They absolutely do not. But if you look at the data, you would say that this is always more in demand. MMS is always more in demand compared to a PGDM course. The reason is very simple. It's a degree, and wherein will you find the difference? You will find the difference, especially if you want to do a PhD. Let's say tomorrow you want to go abroad and do a PhD. Then for a PhD, you need a postgraduate degree. Many countries like Australia might not consider a diploma equivalent to a postgraduate degree, and hence there might be a problem. But if you have no intention of doing higher studies post your MBA, then it makes absolutely no difference whether you go for an MMS, which is a Master of Management Studies, or PGDM. Got it? Okay. Now, as I already said, MMS, the cutoffs are higher. So better ranks take up MMS than PGDM. That's the next point. The third thing is, what are the specializations that are being offered in each of these colleges? What are the specializations that are being offered in Jbims, SIMSREE and Welingkar? I have mentioned only these 3 because, as I said, these are the top 3 colleges under CET. Okay. Now let's look at the specializations. Number 1 is finance. Number 2 is marketing. Number 3, operations. Number 4 is number 3 is ops. Number 4 is HR. And number 5 is IT. Now, I will tell you a fact here. Okay, remember I have studied in SIMSREE, and I will tell you facts. The fact is, whether it is Jbims, SIMSREE or Welingkar, the top 2, finance and marketing, are most sought after. And many companies also exclusively mention when it comes to the placements that they would allow students belonging to finance and marketing. Regarding HR, if the profile is HR based, only then you might get a HR based company allowing you to sit for that particular placement. Having said that, because finance and marketing are most sought after, almost 90% of the students in these colleges go for one of these. Operations, HR and IT, you might have as few as 4 or 5 students in each year. So JBMS probably only 4 students are there in 1 year opting for ops, another 2 or 3 for HR and another 2 or 3 for IT. Having said that, I in no way telling you that these 3 are bad. What I'm only trying to tell you is finance and marketing are more sought after compared to operations, HR and IT in these 3 colleges. And even if you happen to opt for one of these 3, chances are you would have very less peer learning because there are hardly 4 or 5 students in each of these specializations. Get the point? So, does it mean that I need to select finance and marketing at the time of admission? No. First year is common for everyone. So it's a common specialization. There is nothing finance and marketing. It's common for all. Only at the start of the second year, okay, you got to choose your specialization. So 1 year down the line, when you have done your MBA, you would anyway be in a better position to gauge which of these specialization should you choose. At this point of time, I think it is better if you don't think much about this. Correct? Okay. Having said that, I must also tell you when it comes to MMS, the question papers that are set for each of the exams is same for every college, be it Jbims, SIMSREE or Welingkar. Why? Because as I said, MMS is Master of Management Studies conferred by the Mumbai University, and even if the question papers are set by the university, and hence every college would have the same question paper irrespective of the institute. But if you are doing a PGDM, which is the diploma which is conferred by the college, in that case there would be separate question papers also, because the learning would be different. The syllabus might also be a bit different. Get the point? Okay. Now the next thing that I need to tell you is what most people often look at, the placement figures. I have the placement figures of the top 2 colleges under CET. So on your left hand side are the placement figures for JBIMS, and on the right hand side are the placement figures for SIMSREE. What is the source of my figures? The source of my figures is the college website. Yes, let's look at JBIMS, the number 1 college in CET. Also, I must tell you, JBIMS was established in the year 1963. So around in the 1960s it was established. So just imagine how old is this institute and the kind of alumni strength it would have. Most alumnus from JBIMS are all CEOs of top companies in India. Right? Now look at their highest CTC. Their highest CTC for the batch of 2018-2020 was 34.36. But this is definitely not a good number to look at because this is the highest. What you got to look at is probably the top 30% in the batch. The top 30%. Remember, 140 is the batch size, so 30% makes it around 40 students. So top 40 students in JBIMS end up with a near about 30 lakh package. Remember, your investment was just 6 lakhs. And 30 lakh is what you get on an average if you happen to be in the top 30. Also, what is the median CTC? 22 lakhs. When I say median, what do I mean? If I arrange all the packages which have been given to the students, right? Every student of JBMS gets a package. If I arrange them in ascending or descending order, the middlemost value is 22 lakhs. Correct? Next, kind of profiles that have been offered. So if you see this, BFSI is, what is BFSI? Banking, financial services and insurance sector, 38%. So these are mostly consulting, right? Mostly These are mostly finance companies like the Citibank, Investment Bank, JP Morgan, Barclays, and so on. Then you have consulting. Consulting could be a Deloitte Consulting, KPMG, Cognizant, Accenture, and so on. Then you have got technology, FMCG. FMCG is like a Colgate, right? Fast moving consumer goods. And then you have manufacturing and conglomerates. Now you definitely decide which is your interest area. If you think your interest area is one of these, definitely JBIMS can be a very, very good choice. Next, let's come to the next best college, SIMSREE. Now, when it comes to the placements, right, let's look at SIMSREE. SIMSREE, the batch size, so JBIMS, the batch size was 138 students, 138 students, okay. SIMSREE, the batch size is 120 plus 60. What is 120? I already explained. It is MMS, the strength of MMS, Master of Management Studies, which is the MBA degree conferred by the Mumbai University. What is 60? It is the batch size for PGDM, which is the diploma. So total is 180. Placements happen together. They don't distinguish. Companies might distinguish, but 99.9% of the companies even don't distinguish between MMS and PGDM. Highest CTC offered for the batch of 2018-20 was 20 lakhs per annum. Number of companies visited was 78, right? 78 companies. That's not a bad number. That's a very good number considering you only have 180 students. And what was the average CTC? 12.2 lakhs per annum. Now, there is definitely a difference when it comes to JBIMS and SIMSREE for the package. Remember, the median package out here was 22 and the median package out here is only 12.2. But still, I would say these are good numbers given the ROI, the return on investment that you get. The return on investment you get. Also, there are other factors that you got to consider when you consider colleges like JBIMS, SIMSREE and J Somaiya. Okay, there are other factors that you need to consider while considering these colleges. The first and the foremost factor which is really helpful for you and which is very beneficial if you can get admission in one of these is the location. Remember, all of these colleges are located in Mumbai. That's considered to be the financial hub of not only India but rather Asia. Financial hub of Asia. So all top companies are located here in Mumbai. What happens? The kind of exposure that you get, the corporate exposure that you get. When I say corporate exposure, industry interaction, CEOs coming and taking classes, probably the RBI deputy governor coming down and taking several classes can happen in these colleges because they are located in the financial hub of in Asia and are located in a prime location of Mumbai. These two colleges are located in Churchgate. Okay, that's considered to be again the hub of Bombay. And then you have got Welingkar. Correct? Now, one more point to note out here is there are other colleges. Should you go for them? Is the next question. Let's say you don't get into Welingkar. There are colleges like in Pune. There are some colleges like PUMBA. There is a college like Dalmiya. These colleges, but they rank much below JBMS, SIMSREE and Welingkar. If you don't get in the top 3 and if you are desperate to get admission this year, then you might consider one of these colleges. But you should remember that there is a very big difference when it comes to the top 3 and even number 4 and even number 4 on the list. So top 3 has a brand. The number 4, the brand decreases by a very big amount, So you got to be careful, and when you are preparing, you got to consider that you are trying for one of these three. Also, the next thing is how much do you need to score to get admission in one of these 3 colleges. I already told you JBIMS is close to 99.9 percentile. I am talking about all India open category, no reservations. SIMSREE will also be around 99.4 plus percentile. And Welingkar will also be close to 98, 99 percentile. 98, 99 percentile, all India category. The good part is a lot of students, okay, many a times you do not score well in your class 10, class 12 boards and probably in your graduation. Then again CET is one exam you should definitely give. because the weightage for your graduation, or for that matter 10, 12, or if you are not good in probably your communication skills, then your GDPI, right? In Maharashtra CET for the last 2 years, no GDPI has been held, no GDPI. Before that, GDPI used to happen. They have something called a centralized, they have something called a cap round. What is a cap round? It's a centralized admission process. Centralized means it is conducted by DTE. What is DTE? DTE is Directorate of Technical Education, Government of Maharashtra. So this is a department from the government of Maharashtra which conducts test rounds. So let's say it's a centralized round, right? So you are invited for round 1. What happens? If your score is the highest, let's say you are the topper in the written examination, then in the cap round, you will be the first one who will get a chance to select the college. You get the point? If you are round 2, let's say it's your second rank, you are the second person who will get a chance to select the colleges. Needless to say, all toppers will opt for Jbms. Next toppers, SIMSREE, and so on. So this is a centralized round. What about GDPI? A GDPIs might happen, might not happen. We don't know this year. Last couple of years, there has been no GDPI. Based on your written score, students have directly got admission. But even if GDPI was there, the years before the last 2-3 years, so initially you used to be there, the weightage for GDPI is very less. The written score, okay, is out of 200, while the GDPI score will hardly be around 34, 17 plus 17. I am talking about the years where GDPI was a part of the process after the written rounds. So 34 marks out of 234 is very, very, very less. So if you score well in your written, you are more or less certain that you will get admission this year. Get the point? Okay. Also, I must tell you another important factors. I'm giving you all factors why you should write the CET. The other reason is because of the less batch size, right? The less batch size. Remember, all the batch size, all the colleges, the batch size is less than 200. The good part is the placement competition becomes easy. Think about an IIM where you'll have probably 500 to 600 students sitting for the placements, and it's a very tough competition. Here, because there are only 180 to 200 students or even less than that, the placement competition becomes relatively easy when I consider and compare it to probably the IIMs. The IIMs, or for that matter a Nursing Munji or a Symbiosis, where the student side is huge, the batch strength is huge. Also, most important factor, to do well in your GDPI, whatever you have done in your CAT, more or less is enough. You don't need to do anything extra except for reasoning. There is a section called abstract reasoning in the CET. Abstract reasoning. This is something extra that you got to prepare. There are 25 marks from abstract reasoning. In abstract reasoning, most of the questions is nothing but visual reasoning. They will give you 5 figures and they will ask you which is the 6th figure. Remember, all these figures will follow some pattern, form some sequence, and you got to identify the 6th figure. So abstract reasoning is something that you definitely got to overemphasize when you are preparing for the CET. Also, the CET is all about speed. There are 150 minutes and 200 questions. 150 minutes, 200 questions. That makes it less than 1 minute per question. Less than 1 minute per question. So you got to be really fast, but the good part again is the questions are easy. The questions are easy, so you wouldn't have a problem. So prepare well. It's the last few weeks that you will get, and if you don't get into CET this year, probably you'll have to write the CAT or wait for 2022. Having said that, enjoy your CET preparation, and if any doubts, you can always get back to me and get in contact with me through the Unacademy app. My name is Parikshit, and yes, you can search by my name and you can definitely get in touch with me via the Unacademy app. Also, in Unacademy, we provide A to Z comprehensive coverage of your CET, CAT, every MBA entrance examination, comprehensive coverage and courses. If you wish to subscribe to any of them and wish to get a 10% discount, you can use this code Parikshit Live. You will get access to all courses by all educators on Unacademy, and you will also get a 10% discount. I think that's it for today. I hope you have understood a lot about the CET, the top colleges, the cutoffs, the placements, the specializations, and much and more beyond this. Hope you enjoyed the session. Till I meet you the next time, goodbye and take care. Bye for now.